What's up, everybody? So a lot of you guys have been asking to get a closer look at this thing, and I'm going to deliver. So let's check out my 2004 Harley Davidson Dyna. So my bike is a 2004 Harley Davidson FXDL, which is the Dyna Lowrider, for those of you who don't speak Harley acronyms. It started life entirely different than where it is now. It started off as an ugly ass chrome and blue leather covered turd that was crashed a few times, and I picked it up rather cheap and brought it to life and built it up into the sweet machine you see today. So let's go check it out and start working through it section by section. Starting up front, we got shitty old 39mm forks. These things have been on Harleys forever. They eventually upgraded to a 49, but this thing's kind of old, so I'm stuck with these toothpicks. Internally, we swapped out the fork springs with some 90kg Race Techs, and also added the Race Tech emulator kit in there to give it more of a cartridge fork feel and be able to control the hydraulic flow in there. I also custom made my emulsion tubes because the stock ones are shitty cast material, and I didn't really like that because I abused the hell out of my bike. So I made some on the lathe and made some way stronger, way cleaner ones inside there. We also have the SDC fork brace up here on the forks to keep it from twisting and give it a little more stability. Up top, this is just the standard Harley Davidson quarter fairing. You can get pretty much anywhere. There's all kinds of quarter fairings out there and full fairings. This is just my favorite looking one. Another change up front was swapping out the shitty Harley 2-piston brake caliper and replacing it with a Takiko 4-piston off of a GSXR, and mounted it up here with the Speed Merchant bracket adapter to give myself a little more stopping power, because these fat pigs don't like to stop too quickly. So something that I get asked about a lot is my handlebar setup. I come from a motocross background, and I wanted to have dirt bike bars in my hands. They just feel way better because a typical Harley setup is usually 1 inch at the grips, and these are 7/8. 1 inch is just too fat in your hands, you have less control, and kind of feels like shit. So I swapped out to a set of Hardcase Performance risers. These are 7-inch. They're also machined out to accept 1 1/8" style taper handlebars. On top of those, I put a set of Pro Taper Pastrana FMX bend bars because I'm kind of tall, and this is a pretty tall bar bend. I think the entire setup is around just a ball hair under 10 inches by the time it's all said and done. So another thing I did was take the stock levers off and just cut them down and reshape them to be a 1 or 2 finger style lever. Because like a lot of things, if you need more than 1 or 2 fingers to use them, you're doing something wrong. And we also finish it off with some Renthal Kevlar grips and Hardcase Performance 7/8 throttle tube. So moving on to the motor, this is what I get asked about the most. Are you ready for it? My motor is completely stock. So there's a big misconception from a lot of people that see Harley wheelies and stunts that you need some big juiced up motor to make it happen, which is totally false. This is just the stock twin cam 88 from that year. It's a fuel injected model. I'm running at like, maybe 80% compression. This motor is super tired and I'm way down on horsepower. There is no mods on it other than an exhaust and an intake just to make it look cool, basically, and sound better. This is the Performance Machine intake. I have no idea which one it is. And this is the carcass of an old Thunderheader that has been chopped apart and welded back together about 15 fucking times. Up here, we've got my crash bar. If you look back to, I think it's episode 9, you can see me fabricate this thing. There's a few on the market right now that I really didn't like. They're made out of way too thin of materials, and they're kind of built with some weird dimensions. They're a little wide and stuff, so I went ahead and built my own. It's been tough as shit so far, and doing the job. Another thing, impossible to kind of see, but down here we have a skid plate covering the whole underside of the bike from Cruzy Originals. Thank you, Cruzy. Well, let's not forget my bent-ass frame right there. I mentioned this thing was crashed before I got it. So back of the bike, we have these here shocks. They are Progressive 970s, and they are 13.5 inch. Kind of lift the bike and give me a little more adjustment out of my suspension, and a way better ride to be beating the shit out of this thing. Stock brakes in the back. Not for long though. We're going to be swapping out this shitty stock brake with the Takiko 4-piston just like the front. And there's going to be 2 because there's going to be a handbrake on this son of a bitch. Also swapped out the shitty stock chain adjuster blocks. They are thin material, and replaced them with these ones from Bung King. They're about 3 times as thick, and they're not going to suck in and bend on you, and your chain's always going to stay aligned. Oh, let's get to that side. Yes, it's converted to a chain drive. If there's one mod you're going to do to build a bike to do this kind of stuff, that's probably the one that I suggest first. The stock belt works for a short period of time, but after a while that belt just can't handle the abuse and will end up splitting on you and will leave you stranded somewhere. So you convert it over to a chain and a little less to worry about. This whole setup I bought from Zipper's Performance, I believe. I'm running a 22-52 gearing setup, and I think that's where I'm going to stay at now. And I also replaced all the rear sprocket bolts with high-grade ARB bolts just to have a little less to worry about shearing shit off. Some other small things are these stunt pegs slash crash pegs that I fabricated myself on the top of the rear shock mounts. We got some fancy little Roland Sands foot pegs back there for the passengers that are never on here. We've got some Burley brand MX style foot pegs down below, which have beer bottle openers on them. Fucking awesome. And this is a seat that I built up myself. It's just the stock base with some different foam on it that I reshaped and covered it in this motocross style gripper material, because like I said, I come from dirt bikes and want to have some dirt bike steeds on this thing. Other small items, we've got a scrape plate back here fabricated by myself and my buddy Ryan. Got a Bung King taillight countersunk in there so that won't get destroyed, because last year I went through a shitload of taillights. I think this is a Drag Specialties lay down plate mount thing. Foot step plate for doing some tricks off of, that was built by myself. And got some fancy gas caps up here from Performance Machine. Once again, no idea which ones they are, but that's who made them. Last but not least, in the looks department, we have this beautiful paint job supplied to me by Von Knob Custom Paint. Thank you very much, sir. You fucking rule. I'm super grateful to have a paint job like this on a bike for once, and hopefully I don't ruin it. And lastly, we've got these ballin' ass white wall tires. These are the Shinko SR 777s, and those were given to me by Century Power Sports here in Winnipeg. Thank you again, Paul. So that's my bike as of right now. Hopefully we're going to have some more mods coming in the future at some point. Hopefully we can rebuild this motor, freshen it up, maybe throw some cams in there and get some extra Jim Jam out of her. But other than that, it's really just a polished turd. You really don't need to build anything too crazy to start doing Harley wheelies. You can throw on some handlebars and some chain drive and get to work. So hopefully this gave you guys the answers you were looking for. If there's any more questions, drop them down in the comment box, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get back to some goddamn wheelies.